Hello singing friends, welcome back to my channel. It's your friendly singing coach Mickey here. So today I'm going to be reacting to a collaboration between the band The Sisters of Mercy and Ofra Haza. This is a request from my friend Loris Hassani, who I've been mistakenly referring to by his mother's name, Melihat. So I apologize to Loris for that. And before we start, I wanted to show you guys my new furnishings in my video recording room down here because I'm really excited about them. I think I've really done a lot to spruce up the place. So I'm gonna turn my camera around so you can see what is going on over here. All right, so as you can see, I've got a chandelier in here and a beautiful shelf. I've got my little pink seashell chair with my cute leopard cheetah pillow here. And I just love it. I've got all my music awards and my records on here. And then of course I've got my desk. All right, so here you go. You can see my vanity here that I use as a desk. And then in the corner over here, I've got some musical instruments that I use for recording and my microphone. And then on the door, I've just got a little Mother's Day thing that my son made for me a few years ago. So that's it. So actually when I sit down to record at the desk, you pretty much get a very plain view. You don't get to see the accent wall, which is why I just wanted to show you guys. So you know that my space is looking pretty freaking awesome. I especially love my chandelier because it's so classy. I guess it's really a candelabra because it's not hanging from the ceiling. It is on a stand. But I think that's pretty freaking awesome. Let me know what you think of my stele over here, my aesthetic. All right, so Loris writes in his request that this song is called Temple of Love and it was released in 1992. The band The Sisters of Mercy originally released the track in 1983, but the lead singer, Andrew Eldritch, wanted to re-record the song with Ofra's voice because he was a huge fan of hers. And the Ofra version made it to #3 on the charts and became the band's highest charting song. So just to give a little background on The Sisters of Mercy, they are an English rock band formed in 1980 in Leeds. They achieved early underground fame and had their commercial breakthrough in the mid-80s through the early 90s. And then they stopped releasing new records in protest against their record company, WEA. And they're currently a touring outfit only. They've released 3 original studio albums, First and Last and Always, Floodland, and Vision Thing. And each album had a different lineup. The only consistent members are the singer-songwriter Andrew Eldritch and the drum machine called Dr. Avalanche. And Eldritch and Avalanche are also involved in the Sisterhood, a side project connected with Eldritch's dispute with former members. The label released the album Go Figure under the moniker SSV in '97. And although the Sisters of Mercy were eventually released from their contract, they have not signed to another label or released any new material, despite showcasing numerous new songs in their live sets. Former members of the group established the band's Ghost Dance and The Mission. So kind of an interesting backstory on Sisters of Mercy. I hadn't really heard that before, so I think that's kind of cool. They obviously have had a rocky road, a lot of internecine fighting between their members, and of course, the tale as old as time, fighting with their record label. But let's go ahead and listen to this track. It is a long song, it's about 8 minutes, and I am gonna be breaking it up so that it doesn't get flagged or taken down. I will put the link to the uninterrupted video in the description box below, as always, if you want to head over there and listen to it in its completion before hearing my commentary on it, or after. after, whatever you would prefer. So let's jump right in and check it out. Gonna pause it there for a moment. So things that I like about it, I really like Dr. Avalanche's contributions. I was pleasantly surprised about how the kick drum is kind of on the offbeat, you know, and it had that complicated hat pattern in the beginning. I think it was a really interesting and unexpected beat. And I like the kind of industrial flavor to the production. And I do think that Ofra's voice added a lot to the track, even though she's just singing on the intro so far. There's a certain brightness that really stands out and just adds another layer of color and interest to the track. I think that Andrew Eldritch has an interesting voice, but it almost feels like a character actor to me rather than a leading man, if you know what I mean, in terms of like the quality and the tone and the timbre and the style of singing. It reminds me of like Devo or something. Like there's kind of like this like dopey kind of cartoon character way about the singing that like it makes me understand why this was like more of an underground kind of phenomenon. It's not something that I like love his voice. And I think that it's like something that I would have sought out or really listened to on my own. But I could see how this would be something that would have kind of like a cult following. I do like his voice, but it is a little funny sounding to me. And also the mixing on it is not great to my ears. There's not a lot of clarity. There, you know, it doesn't sound like the different elements are separated in their like pockets of EQ. It's a little bit muddy. It's a little bit hard to understand the lyrics on the first listen to my ears. You know, everything is kind of like blending together and occupying the same space sonically. And so it's hard for me to like pick out the lyrics. I did read them before listening to the song, so I know that this song is kind of like about heartbreak and about how like cruel love is. But, you know, if I hadn't read the lyrics, I'm not sure that I would have been able to pick them out from the way everything is mixed.
Fireworks up above, with a gun for a lover and a shot for the beat.
pausing it there again just to break it up. So what I really do like about this track is the energy. It's so upbeat and danceable. And I can really tell why the Ofra version was more successful than the version without her. I haven't heard that version, but I can imagine that not having her voice in it would really strip away a lot of the interest and the color. I love the combination of the like industrial kind of sound and her melismas. She really found an interesting way to weave in what she does, which is so different thematically from this genre, and yet she really found a cool way to weave it in and make it work. So I think the contrast of those two sounds, that combination, is really, really pleasant. It just gives it like a really interesting, fun kind of sound. So I can understand why this would be like a big kind of dance club hit, like it definitely has like good energy. And one thing that I will say, from the moment that it started and from when that kick drum kicked in, I was like dancing along to it. It made me want to move my body. So I can understand how this would have been like number 3 on the charts. Cool. So I'm just going to pause it one more time. Sorry to break it up. I love that, she keeps on contributing more and more as the track progresses. And I loved when she was harmonizing with herself. I thought that was really cool. And when they're like trading off vocals, I think that sounds really, really nice. I also love how, she is repeating some of the lyrics and saying like Temple of Love, but then there's a lot of parts where she's just singing sounds, and she's not just singing on like the same vowel. She's kind of changing her vowel shape as she's singing those melismas. So it's like, ow, 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 like she's kind of like moving her mouth and changing her vowel sound. And it makes this kind of like droney kind of cool effect, which I really like. One thing that I will say about Andrew's voice is I do like his prosody and the way that he's like delivering the phrasing, where he's like making the lyrics scan and kind of popping them. And actually there are certain sections where the production gives more space and you can hear the lyrics much more clearly. And I like the way that he's enunciating his words. It's almost like his singing style is more talky than it is like singy, if that makes sense. Like he really sounds like he's like talking set to melody rather than singing in this like really beautiful, pleasing way. But there is like a cool stylistic thing to that. Like it is kind of its own mood and vibe, which I appreciate. Cool. That is a very, very danceable song. I enjoyed it very much. The production was really cool. I love alternative stuff and industrial stuff, so this kind of has that flavor, and I definitely appreciated that. And I think that Ofra really made this track special. So kudos to Andrew Eldritch for imagining that collaboration and making it happen. I think it really, really made this song very memorable and special. And even though, I think his voice is probably an acquired taste and like a very specific kind of flavor that to me, I don't love it right away. Maybe if I listen to it more, I would love it. But I do think that it has a strong character and it's a cool song nonetheless. So thank you so much, Loris Hassani, for recommending that I listen to this. I hope that you enjoyed my reaction, and I will see you guys here next time. If it's a Monday, I'll see you Wednesday. If it's a Wednesday, I'll see you Monday. Until then, take care of yourselves, and of course, happy singing. Bye-bye.